Hi there guys, and welcome back to the bench. Today for episode 4 in the electronics series, as I fumblefuck my way through learning how to solder and learning some basics, we're doing the Velleman mini kit shaking dice. Now this one it's kind of cool because you can tell this kit's been around for a long time. Look at the artwork on there. Check out the chip. Old school windowed IC. And inside there's an update, like here's the instructions, and they talk about in step 5, that's a tilt switch that has to be at plus or minus 3 degrees there. And they include an informational packet with this that has a different chip, and it shows, don't do this, do this instead. And you got to like bend the leads down and solder stuff together, and it's got to be at plus or minus 15 degrees. So right off the hop, like really, it costs so much to take that picture. I could do a better job with my phone, with a modern version. In fact, I will, and it'll be the thumbnail to this video. Just to prove I can do it, I'm going to take a better picture than that. And I know that your instructions were so hard to make that took a team of experts millions of dollars to put that together. Are you aware that it would have probably cost less money and been easier to change the instructions and include a totally different printed sheet? That's just me though. You probably have a bajillion of these sitting in a warehouse somewhere, and that would be a monumental investment to print new ones, I'm sure. Yeah. So let's put it together, because while I do have skills with taking pictures of things, I don't really have skills with the electronics and the soldering. So I can rightfully talk a non-trivial amount of shit about your packaging and graphic design, and certainly your photography. But I don't know that I can put the kit together. So that's where you've got me. I'm sure the Velleman guys are great at electronics. So we've got a whole pile of fun. There's hardware in here. Look at that. We got nuts and bolts and standoffs. We got another little chip. I wonder what it is. I don't know. I'm guessing it's not just like a 555 timer. We got some electrolytic. We got a lot of LEDs. Resistor, cap. This will be neat. All right, I'm going to dump them all out right there. Separate them out a bit. I have a big pile of resistors here. So I got all those. And then I have one that is separate. One lytic, chip and socket. That's a battery compartment. So we're going to be testing this one off the power supply today, because I don't have one of those batteries. We got an electrolytic cap. That's an electrolytic capacitor. Polarized. They plump when you cook them. Pile of LEDs. But at least they're not the super mini LEDs, because those suck to solder. So I got a whole flock of LEDs. Like a bouquet of bottle rockets. 4 big standoff dual nuts. It's not really a bolt. It's female on both ends. Lesbian standoffs, that's what I got. That sounds like a really cool episode of something. Way better than a Mexican standoff. I want to see a lesbian standoff. I got 8 little bolts. And we have our modern day tilt switch. Three leads. And a tiny little capacitor. So really most of this is going to be soldering resistors. So where do we start out with? Hey, step 1. Solder a shit pot full of resistors. So we've got 8 resistors. R1 through 7 are 560 ohms, and R8 is a mega ohm. and we get to learn that the color code for a 560 ohm resistor is green, blue, brown, and for a mega ohm it's brown, black, green. So let's start. Now, I don't know if I should keep these together or snap them apart because it came as two different ones. So R8, that's our mega ohm resistor, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are all here. So I'm gonna delicately, oh, that came apart really easy. Okay, that was very, very well perforated, and thank you, Velleman, for doing that. So we'll do this as two separate units. And I'm gonna try something because I had some people comment saying, you know, dude, you can bring those together and hold it off the... I have a fifth one of these. Why do I have a fifth one of these? There's 5. I'm putting it down there with the parts. We'll see what happens. They were telling me you can use the little hooks like this. That could work. Oh, we're soldering on that side, so I'll bring that up high. So we stuff from the back. Just a little squeeze. You don't have to reef them together. I learned that. I used to. If you watch first episode, I'm like, argh! But it really doesn't take a lot to hold these. But if I put it out on the edges, that lets me manipulate the board round. And if I put it about there, I can hit all my holes. So I can stuff from that side and then solder from this side, and we'll be cool. It's going to be fine. All right, so let's flip it around and get a look. So 1 through 7 are all the same size. It's all these. So I'm just going to bend them all up, peel them all off from this thing. Oh yeah, I mangled the fuck out of that pretty quick. Okay, I'm going to set the different resistor way off to the side. Now, I've been told by Mr. Kidwell that real men bend their leads with these. But I don't know if that's going to work for me because how do you determine the size? But I'm going to try it. I'm going to give it an honest shot. Doing the thing with pliers. We'll see if it matches up the holes. So where's our one's right there. Oh yeah, now I'm way wide. I'm way wide and it won't go in a thing. Fuck. All right, Paul. I tried your dopey idea. It doesn't work. They make benders for these. My buddy Enos even sent me a thing. He's like, hey, you can 3D print this thing. And I'm like, yeah, it feels like cheating. So, comment and tell me what you think. Do you use one of those fancy lead bending jigs? Now, see, that's better. All right. Do you guys use one of the fancy lead bending jigs? And what's your opinion on them? Also, I upgraded the set. We have this now. And this is my little desktop trash can for putting all my leads in. Somebody told me to save the leads, and I'm like, I don't think I need to do that. Okay. And yes, I'm actually being fastidious enough to put these in order, even though it doesn't really matter because they're all the same size. And I'm going to put them all in and then solder them all at once. Because I live for the danger. That's quality right there. That's the mark of professionalism. Und 4. Okay. And there goes 5. Yeah, when I bend them on my own, they tend to come out a lot better. So maybe that's just how I learned. I've been doing that since I first started electronics 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I know, I'm a noob. It's weird because I do this and I try to teach, but this series isn't really about me teaching yet. It's about me learning the basics and you guys making fun of me, which really is what this boils down to. Okay, and the last one is 7. Let me get that in there. There. Okay, so we got them all in. Now I got to flip that over without... Fuck, I should have bent them over as I went, shouldn't I? I've had people on me for like, don't bend your leads over. Like, that's been a recurring thing. I tried not bending my leads over, and it didn't end well for me. So I'm just going to keep on bending my leads over because it may not be right, but it works for me. Now you don't need to bend them over to like 90 degrees, just enough where shit doesn't fall off the board. So see, those are all, oh no, I gotta hit that one a little bit more. Okay. All right, we're good there. Oh, no, you're leaving. Oh, because it ain't bent over. See, you gotta bend them over. And it isn't about how far you bend them over, it's about how tight to the board you bend them over. Okay, you guys are all cool. Now let's melt some metal. I'm gonna do the little bristly bit on my tip. And then we'll tin it. And then we'll do some more bristly. Okay, and I'm gonna start at the back. Oh, see, it doesn't turn very well when you're out on the end like that. Taking too long. See, my goal is to get in, heat it, melt it, get the fuck out. I'm clumsy with this today. It's because I haven't shot one of these videos in like a week. I've been doing laser stuff. And with these videos, I don't shoot like 10 of these a day. These are all shot on different days. At least they have been so far. So I don't like get to really hit my groove, and you know, by like the 3rd video I really got my shit together. No, I do, like yesterday I shot a robotics video. That's too much on there. Okay, I'm gonna trim off some shit and drop it in my little trash can. Okay. All right, now we'll get Okay, so we got all those sorted. At least I think. I've learned not to assume. You gotta flip it over and check and see if anything fell off. That looks good from that side. Oh, I got one popped up. Okay, so we'll just give it a touch and a push. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Does it bother you that they're not all oriented the same way? Does it? I want you to think about that. I want you to just meditate on the fact that not all of those are oriented in the same direction. And just let that thought ruminate. Look at that. All over the damn place. Oh, it's anarchy. All right, now the instructions have us putting the capacitor on next, but that goes on the other board. Well, yeah, it does, and then those, and then those. So yeah, we'll swap boards, because we'll do a bunch of stuff on the other board, and then we'll come back. The board is patient. Let's put that on here. Something just happened on the live stream, but I can't see that computer from here. So whatever happened, thank you. I'm guessing somebody might have subscribed. Thank you. Welcome to the weird. There's a lot of crap. See, if I grab it that way. I'm just going to hang it way out like this. Yeah, I can do that. Just move it, hang it right out like that. All right, so it wants me to do the capacitor next, and that's C1. And it says C1 is 100 NFs. Now NF is nanofarad. There's also a little UF and PF. What do those mean? What's the difference between a UF, a PF, and an NF? What are the numbers associated with those? These matter quite a bit because 1F is a farad, named after Mikey Faraday, and farads are fucking huge, which is why pretty much the only time you'll commonly come across a capacitor that's like 1 full farad is in very low voltage. The car audio world has tons of those. And you'll see like 1 farad caps used in car audio stuff pretty commonly for guys that are a little bit nuts. Oh, I soldered over my hole. That's gonna suck. Hey, wait! I got my magical anti-solder stuff. I know I can't untin the hole, but I'd like to, you know, have a fucking hole that I can stick the thing through. Okay, so I've sealed up my hole, and that's just gonna suck. And that's just how that is. It's gonna suck, and there's nothing we can do about it, but I'll figure it out when I get there. Never done that before. I just sealed up my damn hole. So we're gonna have to figure that out. But we're smart. We're clever. We're good at problem solving. All right. So next, of course, next is the socket. I have to get something in that hole. Now, if I look at the socket, I can see there's a little divot here, and there's my little divot there. So I just got to get that in there. Now it'll go in most of the holes, but it won't like click in and sit down until I heat that one hole. So I'm just going to press from the back and heat this hole. And we drop right in. We're cool. Okay. Let that cool a minute. And now I can heat. I'm going to go kitty corner and just tack weld this in place basically. Boom. See, I'm putting too much solder on shit. I got solder everywhere. So I gotta tone it down. But that's the purpose of these kits, is learning how to do this. It isn't just melt the metal and stick it on the pad. It's a much more refined process than that. Okay, now I touched back on this one because this 8th pin down here looked different. Like it was kind of dull, and I don't want to have a cold solder joint. And it might have just been that I had melted all the flux off the damn thing or something. I don't really know, but it didn't look like the others. So it's a tall grass that gets cut. Okay, now we got to do the battery, which is E1. That's kind of weird. Why is the battery called E1 and not B1? But it wants a CR2032. I actually have those in stock downstairs in the workshop. So we can do that. And I'm just going to drop that big damn thing in the hole. Did I? No, it's just kind of hard to get in the hole. Okay, cool. It's down, it's in, it's good. Yes! Yes, he scores! Okay. So that doesn't look right. That looks right. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Okay, so we got the battery mount on. Now the tilt switch. And this is where we have to go sub paper, read paper. So don't do this. 5 is a lie. Do this. Bend it down. Bend the other end down. Well, bend it down, solder together, then bend the other one down. Okay. So we've got our tiny ass switch, and we're going to bend this down. Thus. How do we compare? Oh, it's bigger than life size. Okay, we're bent. Now I got to solder it together. And I got to hold it and solder it together. So I'm going to grab my fancy handy thing, bring that over here, and just totally screw my shot. So let me try and get this a little bit where you can kind of see it. Okay, we're gonna work off that camera right there. And I gotta solder that to that. There's a giant ass bridge. How am I supposed to do that? I'm gonna put a fuck off big gob of solder on there and hope for the best. Velleman, I am disappointed. But that appears to be soldered together in a really ghetto ass level of quality, but it'll do. All right, so we got that. Also, that's really hot. You can tell that it's hot because it's burning the fuck out of my hand. Okay. Now we got to put the switch over here. So I'm going to slide that out, spin it around, and grab it up here, like that. I'm heading for switch 1. Now this is marked with polarity, but it's a switch. So what the hell kind of polarity can you have? Let's examine. All right, well, if you look here, the stripe on the board is at the opposite end from the solder gob, and that end needs to be high. Okay, so about 15 degrees. Now I don't have an inclinometer handy, but I'm just going to make it look like the picture. That's my plan. So we bend this down to match the other one. Okay. And the gob goes away from the line, and the line end goes high. So what I'm going to do is put that down on the board, all the way down to the solder gob. And yeah, I'm going to solder the solder gob end first. I got to move that down so you guys can see. Okay, that looks all right. Okay. Let's solder the gob end. We're all the way down. I'll trim that off. Okay, so that end looks like the picture. That's all right. You concur? That looks pretty close. What do you think? This is really hard to get on camera. All right. Looks about the same, right? Just like the real thing, only smaller? Okay, cool. So with that as such, I'll flip this back. And we'll do this end. Okay, so I think that sorts out the switch. That looks good to me. So the next thing is the electrolytic capacitor, which is easy. You just got to get your polarity right, and there's a little plus on there, and the plus is more and more is longer. Flip that right the way around. Bend those a bit. Bring that up a little so I can hit it with the iron. Oh, I should have done the other side first. Can I get that in there? Shit. Okay, we got that sorted. That is terrible. Look at that shit everywhere. Oh my God. Now I know electrically it doesn't matter, but just from a craftsmanship standpoint, that looks like hell. Not my best work, but it'll have to do. Okay, now we got to do the LEDs. I'm going to go a little bit out of sequence and put the chip in there while it's up like this. You can see the little divot, and the divot in the board goes to the left, and the divot on the chip goes to the left. I'm going to give it just a gentle squeeze. I want to put the downside in because those are the ones that are hard to see. And then just thumbnail in the top ones and seat that down and visualize. Totally should have put the chip in before the capacitor. Would have made that a little easier. All right, so the chip's in. So this is our board. We still got to put our 8 in there. Shit. That's like the first step. Oh God, I suck at this so bad. Okay. Let's just bend that over because R8 was our odd man out. Oh, I'm so bad. I did it way out of order. There's like 8 steps of instructions to this and I still managed to fuck it up. If I can do this, you can do this. Man, I could fuck up a 3-car funeral at this point. Let's get this in there and secure. And we're aligned on camera acceptably well. Jab it in the metal. But hey, at least I didn't forget to solder the fucking switch on this time. So we're already doing better than the last episode, aren't we? Okay. There. Now how we look. We got everything on the board. It looks upside down, but I don't think anybody really cares. Oh, you can read that chip on this camera. Look at that. You can read that. This is a 1-2, I'm going to say that's Foxtrot 508. I wonder what that chip does. How about one of you guys knows? 12 Foxtrot 508. Comment in. Tell me what that chip does. I'm curious. All right, so now we got to go to the other board, which is a shit pot full of LEDs and not much else. So that's pretty cool. This is easy. Even I can do LEDs. I can do LEDs and not even screw them up some of the time. Oh, we can grab you there. We can grab you there. Can I solder to that? Not as easily as I could if it was on top. Hey, LEDs are easy to drop in, so let's put this upside down. Because I don't have to mess with leads on LEDs. I just got to get my polarity right. So remember, shorter is cathode, and they mark cathodes on LEDs. They mark anodes on other stuff. They mark cathodes on LEDs. So I'm going to drop that in, and I'm immediately going to bend the legs. And when you bend them, don't bend them out from the tip. Get up in there and spread the legs from up in the inner thigh, not from the ankles. Because then it'll hold better. So short to the line. You initially spread out at the ankles, but then immediately get up to the inner thigh. Spread them far apart. And because you want it to have that initial bend to catch on the board. And we'll solder those too. Look at that. Like showgirls. It's awesome. Is that like an amazing shot for you? Because I totally can't fucking see that. Okay, here, I try to solder from the vantage point of actually looking at it, but sometimes I have to do this through a lens where I'm looking at a screen, and that's tricky. Like, there are definitely parts of this that would be way easier were I not doing it on camera. So I just want you to remember that when you're judging me. Because when you're doing this, sitting at your bench, you just have to get the part to solder to the other thing. I have to get the shot. Because I'm a fucking artist. I'm really not. I'm a nerd with a camera. But I'm trying to make what some would consider to be some manner of art. I make the moving pictures. Y'all come watch dude solder make a flicker show. Okay, that's the middle one. Oh, go in your fucking hole. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's that row. We got 3 of them going across there. So when you're soldering LEDs, I just learned, after you solder the first lead, come off it for a second and let it totally cool before you solder the second lead, or the damn thing might move on you. And I gotta think moving a solder joint that's coming through transition is bad and can result in a cold solder joint or something. I don't really know, but I can see it being bad. I'm pretty sure that it's like airplane glue. Once you've got it, once you're done with it, leave it the hell alone while it does its own thing before you disturb it. Let it solidify. I think that's important. I'm not 100% on that, but I think that's important. I think it's important to not disturb a solder joint while it's transitioning down from liquid to solid. Can you say eutectic, boys and girls? Eutectic. I knew you could. I'll just go over to this one while the other one cools a second, because it just takes a second to cool. See, I got so much shit. There's so much shit on my tip. If I wanted shit on my tip, I'd hang out with Mark. There we go. Hey, have you branded your fingers today? Learn how to solder. So I've learned that all these little wires I'm cutting off are ferromagnetic. They're made out of steel. What the hell? Why are they steel? Why not copper? Like, I'm sure there's reasons why, probably because it's way cheaper, but steel. Do they do anything to the steel? Like, somebody who knows, teach me about component leads. What exactly are they made of and why? Because they're steel. You can pick them up with a magnet. Huh. Okay, so now I got to figure out how the hell to bolt this together. Oh, those are electrical. If you look, these are copper rings, and they have leads going to them. They have component traces. They call them traces, not component pathways, but traces. So these are, that's why there's a fifth. They needed 5 wires to go down for something or other. That's why there's 5 posts, because the posts are the conductors. Huh. Now, let's check the picture. Yeah. So it's got to go a certain way. That makes putting a battery in it kind of a pain in the ass, doesn't it? All right. I'm going to go grab a coin cell battery real quick, and then we'll finish this up. No, I don't need a battery yet. I can bolt it together if I put a battery in. It goes in from the side. Yeah, I can make this work. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this, because that's... we're going to keep that. We're going to keep that for now. Yeah. Okay. I know where I am. It's okay. I know where I am. We're going to grab you there and there. This is like putting together a quadcopter at this point. I think it's hilarious that I just like 2 days ago, bought a little screwdriver for up here. I have a bigger one. I got a bigger one on that end. Okay. I just bought a little screwdriver for up here. All right, so we're gonna feels weird doing this without blue Loctite. When you build quads, you do this very similar stuff, and you everything gets blue Loctite because quadcopters like to vibrate a little bit. I think I can do this better just on the bench. Yeah, it's way easier. Okay. Now the fifth one. I like how they used a mechanical assembly as an electrical assembly. You actually see this quite a lot. Anywhere you go and see EMT conduit, it's frequently used as a grounding system. That's very, very common to have like an electrical conduit set up with EMT. You could probably do it with rigid too. I don't really work with rigid much, so I'm not 100% on that. I got to think it works the same way. But with EMT, there are whole things where the boxes are tied together with, like, it isn't just the mechanical assembly of the conduit. It's done in such a way as to ensure an electrical assembly as well. And it's all for grounding safety stuff. Well, it's not my best work, but certainly not my worst. I'm proud of it. Now let's see if it works. I'm going to wrangle up a CR2032 battery, and we'll fire this up. All right, so I've got a CR2032 battery, 3 volts, and they come with stickers on them now. Don't feed batteries to your kids. They won't get superpower. Doesn't work that way. I got questions. I got so many questions. Okay, so that says plus on top. That's the positive side. That is kind of a pain in the ass to get a battery in there. So let's take a minute and explore 50 ways to love your lever. And just slip that in. Boop. Oh, hey, it's doing shit. Okay. So, how do we... The instruction just says that and that, which I'm guessing means shake the thing. And we generate a random thing. That's a 2. That makes a sound. There's nothing on here that should make a sound. This, I wonder if this has a spring in it or like a drop of mercury? I don't know. Is that a mercury switch? What does it tell us about this switch? Well, it's not that kind of switch anymore. It's this kind of switch, and it doesn't tell us the model number of the switch at all. Huh. It's either a mercury switch, which is pretty unlikely, but possible, or it's like a little spring with a wire down it. You really don't have to shake it. You just twitch it and it moves. So we made magnetic dice. It likes 2 a lot. One. Oh, you gotta wait for it to be done. 1. One. Oh God. You can't do this quickly. That's 4. I should probably turn some lights out to really see this. So it gives us a 3 there. Yeah, it works. Comes up with different numbers. That's a 2. So yeah, we made a thing. A tiny little widgy bit. Not bad. I like it. Not the best Velleman kit I've seen, but it's a start. I'll try and get something more interesting for the next one. But this is kind of cool. We've got, it's like the little brain game, except not really as advanced. The skill level on this is still a level 1 difficulty. It's definitely simpler than the brain game. It's got the mechanical component to it, so I guess they count that as making it more difficult, but the mechanical component's trivial. There really is it's a very low parts count. It should make a sound. Aside from, just, it should make a sound. It should beep when it's done. I think it's neat. I think it'd be cooler with an IMU. I think they should update this kit to use an IMU and not just the little thing. And you could have the IMU respond by changing the speed that this changes. Like this could be way cooler than it is. I get that the idea is that it's supposed to be ridiculously simple, and it is. Like, it's stupid simple. But I want to see one of these done with an IMU. I think that'd be cool. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and joining me for building Velleman kit Shaking Dice. That's the name of this one. You guys have fun. I'm Chris Boden, and you're not. I'll see you next time. So I said that the thumbnail for this video I would shoot on a cell phone and update their picture. So here's their original picture. And this is not like a super expensive light box or anything. This is actually made with, like, was this Menards? Yeah, this is PVC pipe and some LED lights and $3 foam board.
Menards and Joanne Fabric.
So take a look in here and I'll show you how you get secret movie magic. So there's their original picture. So we're going to duplicate that but update it because you can see they have the old chip. So we'll get a little bit of fill light here. We'll even match the angle. Drop the phone into macro mode. Boom. I didn't have to shoot 1,000 pictures to get it right. I took 2 shots, just because you never take one picture. I took 2 shots, and we'll see if it comes out, because if you go back and look at the thumbnail for this picture, there's the picture I just took. And I'm sure if I really wanted to put the time in, I could Photoshop in their little reflection. But that isn't actually a reflection. They just repeated it. So I don't know what you're thinking. Like they put the effort into Photoshop, but that's not a reflection. Like it's the same picture down below. Also, they changed the screws. You can see now we use flathead ones. So Lightbox 101. By the way, you can build one of these at home. You can totally do that. This isn't rocket science. It's a little cyc wall. Nah, yeah, you can totally make this. All right, you guys have fun. That's it. Hi there guys, I'm Chris Boden and welcome, fuck, I suck at this. Mark is, fuck, every fucking time. Okay, here's your audio. You got audio? I'll bet you got audio. Tell me you got audio.